Welcome back to another Chewbacca story. Now, if you followed up on us last week, I know it didn't get a lot of views, but some of you enjoyed it. You found out how Chewbacca got to this planet and freed some slaves, except the Empire wasn't happy about this, and it was time for Chewbacca to take his new friends and defeat the Empire, freeing them finally. Or will he? When we last left off, Chewie and Zorro saved the mining facility and freed everyone. But the slave owner was not about to let them go, and the Empire was brought down to enter the city and to take those slaves back. Can Chewie save the day? Back down on LDM-4, Zorro and Chewie take Zavox's transport along with a bunch of old droid parts, and they head back into the city. Chewie sits in the back with the old droid that he picked up, stuffing it with parts, and he hits it on the top to shut it down. Zavox says that he doesn't like this, and Zorro tells him that the Wookiee has a plan, so she's pretty sure it's going to work. Once the two of them are dropped off, they begin to get dressed, and Chewie puts on all of the droid parts. Zorro says maybe Zavox is right. They might die. As they walk towards the city spaceport, the Imperial trooper tells them that this area is closed until further notice. Zorro points at Chewie, stating that that's fine, but Zhuam paid a lot of credits for this war droid to protect his shipment. The trooper looks at Chewie and then says, okay, fine, deliver the droid and move along. And once inside, Zhuam looks at the two of them and asks, who are you? Zorro says, what is this, amateur hour? Clear the locals from the bay and let my droids get to work. Zhuam stares for a moment and then tells Zorro to take off the helmet. Before she does, Chewie releases his machine guns and he starts to fire at everyone. Zorro runs for cover, telling the droid Boomer that it's time to get going. And as Chewie continues to fight, his guns begin to short out and he begins ripping the armor off, roaring. The stormtrooper asks, what is he? But before he can finish, Chewie punches and knocks him out. Zorro starts navigating Boomer into Zhorm's ship, but some of the stray blaster shots hit and the droid stomps. Zhorm shouts for everyone to get on the ship. They've got to take off. And Tyvek walks off the ship telling them, no, we're going to finish this. I won't be looking over my shoulder forever. He takes out a staff and he jumps at Chewie, and as he lands, Chewie turns around, flipping the engine sitting next to him. Tyvek tells him to get away from that engine, and then the engine comes alive and it releases a blast that sets Tyvek on fire. The engine starts to rocket into the air and then it smacks into the scout walker, knocking it down. Zorro finishes the repairs on Boomer and then slides out of Zhorm's ship, giving Chewie the thumbs up, and the two retreat back. Zhorm runs aboard his ship, shouting for the pilot to take off. When they finish, they're gonna have every bounty hunter in the galaxy after them. As Zhorm's ship begins to take off, Zorro hugs Chewie, shouting that they did it. Maybe their bomb will take out the Star Destroyer too. And as they begin to leave, they open the door and a group of Imperial troopers tell them to drop their weapons. Zorro says, boy, are we glad that you're here. You won't believe what happened. This guy, Zhorm, he's all cranked up on spice. One of the troopers tells her to be quiet. They've got new orders to bring them in for interrogation. And as the two are put into handcuffs, Zorro sits back, telling them that they're going to need another plan. A short while later, aboard the Star Destroyer, Zorro and Chewie's transport ship lands, and as soon as the hatch opens, a stormtrooper helmet bounces out. Inside, Zorro finishes beating up one of the troopers with his own gun, and then slides out, pointing it at Kai, asking to give her a reason. Kai laughs as Chewie walks down with the troopers, clinging to him, trying to stop him. Did they really think that they could handcuff Chewie and that would be the end of this? As Chewie stops, he hits Kai's droid with a stormtrooper helmet, and then he rips the droid's arm off and beats everyone with it. As he continues swinging, Kai says that it would seem that the negotiations have failed. She has his full attention now. Zorro tells him that that's good because they're here to help them. Zhorm's been selling them a pack of lies. If they inspect his last shipment, they're gonna find a droid crammed with explosives. Kai looks at Zhorm's transport and sees Boomer sizzling inside and shouts, we've been deceived! Just then, a door opens as Zhorm walks out, asking what are they doing here? Zorro tells him that it's over. They told the Empire the truth about him, and then the transport explodes. The blast knocks out the force field, keeping everyone from being sucked out, and Zorro jumps onto Chewie as he tries to grab onto something. He swings from wire to wire until he finally manages to jump onto an Imperial TIE fighter. As he closes the hatches, Zorro asks if he's sure that he can fly this. The last ship that he flew is kind of all busted. Chewie roars, grabbing his crossbow. And Zorro asks if that thing is really that important. As the ship takes off, he tosses one of the crossbow's ends out and he begins to count down. He takes over the controls of the ship and he flies out just in time before the bomb that he left explodes and the two rocket back down towards the planet and crash land. As Zorro jumps out shouting that that was amazing. As the two start to head back to Chewie's first downed ship, Zorro tells him that he could stick around. They could get him some flying lessons or something. And as they get to the ship, Zorro looks at the box that Chewie was carrying before and asks what's so important about that thing anyway? Why does he have to deliver it? Why? Can't he just stay? Actually, she wouldn't understand him anyway. After digging in the ship, he turns back and he hangs a medal around Zorro's neck. She asks, wouldn't he want this? And he holds up his battle sash, and Zorro says, yeah, it would kind of clash with the whole warrior vibe thing. She then says that he could stay, And Chewie points to the sky. She jumps up hugging him, telling him don't be a stranger at least. And later that night, she returns home, and Arix runs over asking where's the big guy. She tells him that he was on an important mission. In a way, it was like he survived his own Joram situation before and didn't want them to be slaves. But she knew that he had to leave when she saw what was inside the box that he had. He's going to return home. It's not going to be a happy homecoming. Over in the planet of the Wookiees, Chewie takes the box out that he's been holding onto, and he hands it over to a young Wookiee. The young Wookiee opens the box to find the battle sash of their father, and everyone gives a moment of silence. As Chewie begins to leave, the young Wookiee runs out, pointing back inside for him to stay, and he hugs the young Wookiee, smiling, and he points up as the Millennium Falcon begins to descend to pick him up. And there you have it, the conclusion to our Chewbacca story. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was intended to be a single video, and what ended up happening was the holidays, so we had to cut it in two to make it work. Next week, though, we're gonna bring you one of my favorite storylines, the new character, Dr. Aphra. I know she gets a lot of hate, but I love the story about her. She's like Indiana Jones in space. Anyway, guys, don't forget to subscribe to get a Star Wars video every Sunday, and go check out Star Wars Explained. He didn't have a segment for this because it was supposed to be a single video, but he definitely has been helping us out with the lore of Star Wars, and you should go check him out. His link is down below, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.